Like, you know, I'm not going to bring up the person's name because I think it encourages them to continue on when it's a sore subject, so to speak. But what this person is saying, I agree with 1,000%. Because with somebody like me and Gemma, you're not going to have, as a mental health professional, and that's what this person was. You're not going to run around having conversations with people that end in negative encounters. And, there's just certain conversations that we just did not have about certain things. We had conversations that we found common interest in, and he saw things that today I can mostly see what he was talking about. But did he push those subjects, or did he even bring those subjects up sometimes? Hell no. No. I'm not going to sit here and say that conversations that happened didn't happen happened, and that conversations that happened didn't happen, but no, I may not have known for sure if he liked that one individual or not, because the conversation really didn't come up. But there's certain things that he was saying that I didn't understand what he was talking about, and he was bringing it in a way where I could understand it, up to me in a way where I could understand it. So I know what this person is saying is true. That's about as much as I know. That's about all I know about that. But I mean, if you wanted to know what the majority of our conversations were, it was talking about music. It was talking about, because I and I'm not even going to say what he knew about me that nobody else knows, certain things. Why we would have those kinds of conversations. But it was because of things that we found interesting, whatever those things were. Psychology and things like that. But is he going to push these opinions that, people who are autistic have? Is he going to push opposing opinions onto those people? Because those can tend to end up in a negative contact, a negative encounter. He's not into having those negative encounters, motherfucker. He never was, and he never will be. I mean, even whenever he dealt with JB, it wasn't about trying to promote a negative encounter. He came off as these, whatever opinion you have on it. But you got to understand the reasoning and the objective and the motive behind what he was doing. It wasn't to have some kind of a negative encounter with that individual. That wasn't his goal. When that's not your goal, how do you expect it to go? How do you expect it to end up? It's not. You're going to try to throw your stuff out there and see how far, or how, you're not going to fucking sit there and go all out with somebody like that. Somebody like me. Somebody like Gemma. It's just not going to fucking happen. Because I can be argumentative at times. And I got my list of issues, right? Like everybody does. And that's why. Um, but I was absolutely cool with that dude. You know, I liked him. And he was a good person, you know, all the way around. And he always did the right thing. And he knew that a negative encounter with somebody was going to get you nowhere. That neither person actually hears what you're talking about. I mean, that's the type of shit that he knows. He's just better at shit, you know, certain things like that than most people. So, you know, so people didn't like him for that, you know. I liked him for that. I thought that was amazing. You know, the way he could do that. And I can't do that. You know, I'm incapable. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? He's capable of some shit that I'm just not, you know? That's funny. You know? I mean, some people are good at shit, and other people just ain't, you know? And he realized that people had weaknesses and shit like that, you know? I mean, come on. You think he didn't see them? He saw a lot more than I did, and I see more of it today than I did, you know? That's the problem. I actually get some of what he was doing. So I just wanted to say something, I guess. I don't even know if I'm going to post this, you know? But, yeah. I know what she's saying is absolutely, positively the fucking facts, you know? And I knew it more when I heard from Lauren that was the case. I even questioned it. I was like, are you sure? Because, I mean, he didn't lead on to all the way, but he leaned into it a little bit, you know what I mean? To see, well, if I lean into this, is it going to create, I mean, he knew how to test the waters, I guess. And so I can see in our conversations where he's testing them waters to see, well, I'm going to dance around it to make sure that there's no negative encounter with you, because that is not my goal, right? Why would that be his goal to do something like that? Have a negative encounter with somebody? It's not. These things are just common sense, you know, for most people. And I get that. But would he have done that with Gemma, who's further on that scale than I am? Much further. Much, much further. Because I'm on the low end, and she's on, you know, probably towards the middle. Maybe even a little bit further. Absolutely not. If he could barely touch on it with me, how the fuck is he going to touch on it with her? He's not. He's not even going to come close. That's a ridiculous statement, an idea, or opinion. There's no fucking way. And I'm just saying.